Godzilla, King of the Monsters, directed and co-written by Michael Dougherty, is the sequel to the 2014 film Godzilla. The sequel follows the events of the first film, where Godzilla and the Mutos destroyed San Francisco, and now mankind is trying to figure out what they should do about the threat of Titans. An organization named Monarch emerges to track down and contain the plethora of Titans that have emerged, but everything changes when a new alpha emerges in Ghidorah. As humans desperately try to figure out how to deal with the threat of Titans, they must rely on Godzilla once again to fight off an evil threat. Alright, so this was up near the top of my list for 2019 movies. I watched basically every trailer that came out and they all blew me away. And I just felt like this movie was sold as a course correction for the franchise. I mean, the 2014 Godzilla film is extremely divisive because some feel like it gets a lot of things right and the payoff was worth it. Others feel like there's not enough action or enough Godzilla for that matter. I fall in the latter category. I've never been a huge fan of the 2014 Godzilla, because I feel like the route they elected to go in focusing on the human characters and their stories and teasing Godzilla repeatedly until he finally appears at the end, I wasn't a huge fan of that. I mean, I've never actually felt the urge to rewatch that movie because it doesn't offer anything special or memorable besides the final fight, which admittedly is breathtaking. Fast forward to 2019 and we have yet another divisive Godzilla film. This time some feel like the characters have gotten worse and the spectacle feels mindless, and others feel like the spectacle is the main draw of the film, and in that regard it delivers. Here's where I stand. I like the action because the spectacle is amazing and the monsters all do look really cool, and it's just, it is a big spectacle and it is exciting, but the writing, the dialogue, and the characters are all really, really awful. I mean, this feels like a Transformers film in its execution because it does deliver on the promises of big destructive spectacle, but it also delivers a horrible script that suffers in virtually every other area. Let's start with the action though, because I think that is the primary reason people pay to see a Godzilla film. They want to see big monster battles. Well, those battles all deliver. I mean, there's a handful of them spread out through various points of the film, and I was pretty jaw-dropped at just how crazy they were. These were by far and unexpectedly the best part of the movie, and why most people are going to the theater to see a Godzilla film in the first place. Every monster that appears in the film has their own unique style, whether that be through appearance or fighting style, and it just results in battles that are massive, destructive, and amazing to look at. The visual effects are also really great. I mean, the colors are very vibrant, the battlegrounds are just breathtaking visually, and this is a movie that I may actually end up buying on Blu-ray on Black Friday if it's on sale, just to watch the fight scenes on my 4K TV. It's certainly extremely impressive in the visual spectacle department, and the sound is also really great. I mean, the monster battles are packed with excellent sound design, and it really does allow you to immerse yourself into the showdown of these massive monsters that are battling it out for supremacy. Same with the score. I mean, the score composed by Bear McCreary is awesome, and it does add that epic Godzilla feel to the entire experience. So yeah, visually this movie is amazing, same goes for the sound design and score. That's about where the pros end for me though, because if I'm judging this movie the way I judge virtually any other movie, then I have to say that it's a letdown in every aspect of the story. I heard a bunch of people saying that the studio took a lot of the criticisms regarding the first film of there not being enough Godzilla to heart and into consideration this time, so they obviously went bigger. Well, I do agree that there's more Godzilla, and obviously more monsters and more battles, but I wouldn't say that Godzilla has like way more screen time or anything. He shows up more and you actually see him, but I still felt like he didn't become the main focus of the film like you may think going in. This film is still very much focused on the perspective of the human characters because the goal seems to be to highlight, the scale of the Titans and how big of a threat humans are actually facing by them being here. They want you to see, what it's like for these human characters to live in a world with giant beasts that destroy things and kill people. That's all great. I mean, the problem to me is that these characters have absolutely nothing to offer. You really do follow the characters for most of the movie, and the problem is just that they're so bland and unmemorable that they just drag the movie down. It also doesn't help that the dialogue is horrendous. I mean, the way the characters interact with one another will just pull you out of the movie consistently because of how bad it is. The conversations never lead to any meaningful development for the characters. All they do is provide exposition so the audience can understand each monster and where they come from, and maybe even what their plan is. I mean, it's all super sloppy, and the script does none of these actors any favors whatsoever. I'm shocked by that though, because this cast is awesome, man. I mean, I've seen Kyle Chandler and Vera Farmiga do excellent work. Millie Bobby Brown is a great young actress. Sally Hawkins has been nominated for 2 Oscars. I mean, this cast is full of talent, but the material they were given was dreadfully bad. I mean, these characters feel like characters you'd see in a Transformers movie. Bland, forgettable, nothing to offer the story besides a spectator view of the destruction. That's it. The character motivations are also super weird. I mean, it's great that we're getting to see big epic monster battles, but the way that they come to fruition is just nonsensical. I feel like the writers couldn't quite find a way to get these monsters out in the open in a way that makes logical sense. And what you end up with is characters doing things that just become silly after a while because nothing feels like it's explored in enough detail to justify what's actually happening. This is a very, very sloppy script that gets in the way of the action because it's just so bad. I mean, the story doesn't have to be amazing in a Godzilla film for people to think it's an amazing film. It just has to be good. The problem is that the story, the characters, and the dialogue are all so bad that it severely capped my investment in the stakes of the spectacle. This movie is probably the most disappointing experience I've had in quite a while because the trailers sold me on the idea of amazing spectacle combined with a at least well-constructed story. Well, sadly, that didn't come to fruition because the action does deliver, but the story is many moviegoers' worst nightmare. Overall, though, whether you go see this one in theaters will really just depend on what you're willing to accept and what you're not. If you're looking for a Transformers-esque movie with a terrible story but amazing action, then yeah, you should go see this one. But if you're looking for something a little more balanced, I think you're going to be disappointed. As for the pros cons, for the pros, I think Godzilla King of the Monsters delivers amazing battle scenes, great visual effects, excellent sound design and mixing, and a very strong score. As for the cons, the characters are terrible, the dialogue is awful, the script is bad, and there's no emotion in it whatsoever. I'm going to give Godzilla King of the Monsters a 6 out of 10 and say this one entirely depends on what you want out of this movie. If you want mindless, amazing spectacle, then yes, go see it. If you want something more, then pass. That's the best way I can describe it. So did you guys see Godzilla King of the Monsters yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know your favorite movie of 2019 thus far. For me, it's John Wick Chapter 3, but Endgame is a close second, I'd say. I also want to thank every single one of you because just recently this channel passed 2,000 subscribers. And that's a very important milestone for me, so I really do want to say thank you for all of you that have taken the time to subscribe and comment and like and watch or whatever. It really does mean a lot, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do something special for 2K subscribers, so I'll figure something out. If you guys have a recommendation, feel free to let me know in the comments, but it should be something fun regardless. Either way, this is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next video.